Please take your seats. Good morning, everybody. It is terribly painful that we have to meet under these circumstances, but it is a very good comfort to know that we are all united in one purpose. And that purpose is to celebrate the incredible life, the joy, the happiness, and all the feelings of gratitude that came from the life of Vivian Subramone. On behalf of the family and these colleagues, I would like to welcome you today, and I'd like to pray that we can unite together in doing the most important thing, which is to celebrate his life with the incredible amount of dignity that it deserves, and to lay him to rest for an eternity that was well earned. My name is Malva, and I'll be conducting the proceedings today. Thank you for joining us. Now, in order for today to run successfully, I kindly ask that wherever possible, we respect time as the time at the crematorium is booked, and when you do have to leave, that is a non-negotiable item. In terms of today, the first thing we'll be continuing with is the funeral. I'd like to ask the funeral company to come and open up their casket and for the family to begin first. One thing I know to be true about life is we always constantly learn from each other. And one thing that I shared with Vivian was the ability and to grow from the process. As a Zulu man, I would share with Zulu videos, and as a Hindu gentleman, he would share his with me. And one of the wines I shared from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 23. It says, the soul cannot be pierced by weapons, burned by fire, or poisoned by water, or weathered by the wind. The soul is eternal. And today's celebration is a recognizing of that Vivian's eternal soul will be with us, and wherever it goes, he will be. To begin the funeral, I kindly ask that his immediate family members arrive first, and once they have finished, the other groups will be allowed to continue. thing about the life well lived is that you as the person who's living it has no idea how impactful it is up until the people around you can testify. And during the following moments, we will be testifying as to Mamba's impact, his greatness, his ability to touch individuals in a way that will leave them bettered, regardless of who they are, where they're from, and what was going on in their life. And one of the people who know our immediate family members. From our birth to our death, they are with us, and they know that from our childhood right through to our adulthood, exactly who we are. So in order to testify to the incredible soul that Vivian was, please can we welcome up Vivian's uncle, Shri Governor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The tragic passing of Vivian Subramone is a very, very sad development in all levels of our greater family. I have not seen Vivian in person for some time, I think nearly 3 years, but we were always in contact through WhatsApp and on Facebook. Whenever I posted an important item, he was one of the first to respond to the message. Vivian was also a regular participant in our Union of Family WhatsApp site. He would respond to numerous messages and always promoted a positive atmosphere. He would also post his own messages, and this time it would be mainly religious messages. Vivian's tragic passing has come as a major shock, not only to his own Louisa and their sons, his parents Sydney and Vasanta, his brother Adrian, the 2 little girls, the extended Munima family, but also to all his sporting and working colleagues. When he was still a young child, I recall Kennedy and him playing together at our then Lotusville home and Kennedy taking care of him. Even at that age, he captured the attention of his big and small daddies and aunties. Vivian also used to accompany Shri to high school and was always there to be not only a first cousin but also a friend. Vivian as a schoolboy and in his young days was a great sportsman. He participated in soccer, cricket, volleyball, golf and road running. His soccer and cricket mates looked up to him as a super sportsman, always in a jovial mood. He possessed great qualities on and off the field. One of his former sporting friends, Vasu Subrayan, when hearing the tragic passing of Vivian, sent a message expressing the shocked reaction of the former sporting community of Verulam and surrounding areas. He was an excellent young human being, Subrayan reacted. Please pass our condolences to Sydney and the entire family. Now, when referring to his sporting friends, 3 of them, Ugal and Subrayan and 2 other friends, arrived this morning from Verulam to attend Vivian's last passing. As far as his life at work was concerned, he was a star. Wherever he worked, he was looked upon as a shining person who provided support for everyone. I recall an incident when I visited him one day while he was working at Vishnu Hotel in Amsterdam. One of his workmates approached him and they got into some conversation. The manner in which they reacted and the respect they showed one another demonstrated the kind of human being Vivian was. Now, a few days after his tragic passing, I am still in a state of shock and disbelief. We must remember Vivian for who he was, a Dharmamba, always a great human being and humanitarian. May his soul rest in everlasting peace.
Thank you so much. Now, one thing that we all know to be true is that we are all different people to the individuals in our lives. To our family, we are one individual. To our partners, we are another. And to our friends. The most important person that judges our life is the person we are when nobody is looking. And the people who know us best when nobody is looking are all of our closest friends. Right now, I got a message from Nishalan, one of Vivian's closest friends, who will testify as to his character and show us who he truly was, even when he thought nobody was there. Dear Mamba, my bro, though you are no longer with us, your memory stays with me. Your laughter, kindness, and spirit inspired us all. Your friendship was a gift. Your memory, a treasure. Your loved ones, your family, and your friends, as well as your colleagues, you were very proud of your wife's academic success, your son's achievements, and the fun you had supporting the greatest football club on the planet, Liverpool, as you did so with high spirits. Your friendship was a chapter I will always treasure. You may be gone, but your impact remains. Rest in peace, my brother. We will miss you, Nishan and the family. The thing about the people who interacted with Vivian is that they can all truly attest to how wonderful he was in all contexts, not just in work, not just in play, even while pursuing his sporting pursuits. And in order to share a little bit more about the incredible sides of Vivian that we all had no idea about, please can we welcome one of his closest friends, his true cohorts, and his scheme for life, Attorney Ashok Pundit.
Thank you, Program Director. Jai Shri Ram to you, members of the late Vivian Subramone family and friends. We've lost a legend. A life too young, too soon. It's yet another reminder for each one of us that God's plan and ours are not always the same. His will prevails. I gladly accepted to pay a tribute today to my dear friend, who was more like a brother to me, Vivian Subramone, fondly known as the Mamba to very many people who were blessed to make his acquaintance. Viv, as I called him, was a thorough, gentle man. I had known Viv for a long time, and we became very close over the last 5 years in particular. He had a captivating voice, and it was matched with a flawless ambience when he entered a room. It is easy to talk about Bert. I don't need to convince anyone here about him. Those of you who met him will know full well what I'm going to say and more. I have no one to convince about his magnanimity. He was a person who possessed a great, noble, and courageous soul. He loved people, and his passionate work allowed him to meet many. Bert exuded a calm disposition even in the face of adversity. He was loving, he was caring, and very considerate towards everyone. For me, his kindness and compassion and his ever willingness to help others stood out. Bert was an affable man, not by anyone that came into contact with him. I was blessed, especially in the last 5 years, to meet him almost weekly. We shared many meals together, catching up with what went on in the sporting world as he was a sportsman creme, discussing global events and general boy talk. He spoke softly and very often of Louisa, Mikhail, and Katie, his dear mother, and his loving father, amongst other family friends. He was devastated when he lost his sister-in-law and opened up to me during her illness. Being a God-loving Hindu, his love and respect for his parents was unquestionable. And I recall him speaking fondly of many trips and visits to them, in particular his most recent trip with his father to Mozambique. I'm sure by now you all know that he was a supporter who swore by the slogan of his most passionate football team, Liverpool: "You never walk alone." This was his familiar greeting to me, especially on a Monday, if Liverpool had crashed other football teams. Bert was comfortable in anyone's company, young and old. I can make testament to his brilliant cooking talent, which I must assume he got from his darling mum. Knowing that I was vegetarian, he would regularly offer to cook vegetable curries for me and brought pickles along to our favorite lunch spot, while I took the easy route out and bought rotis. We would entertain each other talking about life and spiritual lessons. He was very spiritually inclined, and that is confirmed by his uncle, who spoke a little while ago about the spiritual messages that he shared on the family group. He certainly did that with me, literally every morning. One of the first messages that would greet me on WhatsApp was a loving message from Bert, usually on the teachings of Sai Baba. We would entertain each other talking about life and spiritual lessons, and his expressions were priceless, especially when he felt that I was talking nonsense, but he would not offend me and say anything, but reminded me that I am his big brother. His gratitude for life and for whatever the good Lord showered upon him was second to none. I stand here still in disbelief at the loss and vacuum that his early departure has left, and can only shudder to think what his dear parents, his loving wife, his brilliant boys came and became his friends, and the rest of his family are going through. The loss of a loved one is the hardest life experience in my view. However, Viv's soul is untouchable, not capable of death, and it will journey on as it makes its way to serve at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. We are reminded in the Bhagavad Gita that these bodies are perishable, but the dwellers inside these bodies, the soul or Atma, are eternal, indestructible, and impenetrable. Viv touched so many hearts by simply being the colossal human being that he was. His morning WhatsApp greetings to me often referenced his moral compass, being guided by the teachings and life of Shri Sai Baba. Every once in a while, you come across someone that will leave an indelible mark on you. A mark or characteristic which cannot be erased from your memory, cannot be removed or wiped out, no matter what. For me, Viv was such a man. He relied never on friendship. His work colleagues would attest to Viv's magical and encapsulating voice, which kept audiences in their seats, unmoved, attentive, and magnetized when he spoke. He commanded respect and attention, more so when he had a mic in his hand. A lover of marathon running who regularly shared his times for each race with me, his achievements were as fit as any athlete I knew. He had a passion for football and golf, and an extensive sporting encyclopedia of knowledge. My deepest commiserations to his loving parents, to his dear wife Louisa, to Mikhail, Kevin, who he doted upon, and the rest of the family and friends. He spoke very fondly of his nieces to me, as well as often shared photos of them as they grew up. I want to say to his boys that Dad gave his all for you. He was the one man that worked tirelessly, hoping for the two of you to do better than him in everything. Nothing could bring him greater happiness. Never forget him. Revel in the beautiful memories you have of him. Talk to him. Pray for his soul. He will guide you and remain a guardian angel always. Lastly, I offer this advice to everyone. Cherish and relive every fantastic moment you spent with my legend, my brother, Viv. He will always live in your hearts and memories. And one thing I'm assured of, he will never walk alone. He is now in the arms of our God. May his soul attain moksha or eternal peace. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Advocate Mandir. We truly appreciate it. Now, one of the truest facets of life is that love is a special commodity. Love is one of the few things in this life that the more you spend it, the greater it becomes. And one place that Viv placed a lot of his love was in Liverpool Football Club. And in order to give us a representation of how great that love was, how deep it went, and how much he spent it, and it continued to give him returns, please can we welcome Dave Reddy from the Liverpool Supporters Club.
greetings, immediate family, extended family, friends, colleagues. It is with a deep, deep sadness that we come together today, and we are here to honor a life in every sense of the word, larger than life. My name is Dave Reddy. I'm very close to be a friend of Vivian. I'm part of a group of friends that formed a football supporters club, of which Vivian, his dear friend Doc Governor, Dee's Chetty, started this club, and we honor this brother today. Vivian Subramoney, the Mamba, our Mamba, everyone's Mamba. He was not just a friend. To all of us in the supporters club, he was a brother. To me in particular, to people like Dr. Ravi Govender, to Dee's Chetty, he was a younger brother. That call at 10 o'clock at night on the way home from work for 2 minutes to say, "How's it, my bro? Heading home now to watch the match." It was just so welcome. It was just so deeply seated that he had this thought for all of his friends, to just let them recognize that he would always be there for them. So what does one say about a man who knew everybody and who everybody knew and loved? From the security guard at the gate, from the legends of Anfield, heroes of the Proteas, or the local club in Verona, from the rugby icons that graced the pitches, to the ones that went to the casino, who knew him. Famous names in entertainment, ones that you and I would watch on television, would have their arms around Mama's shoulders. The Mama knew them. But here's the thing, they don't tell you about a man who knows everybody. It wasn't about status for him. It was very simply and humbly down to connection. It was about connection. It was about God's way of bringing a soul to this realm that we exist in, to connect with other souls. He didn't just meet Kenny Dalglish. If you don't know who that is, says it's a legend of Liverpool Football Club. You just didn't meet him. He sat and had conversations with greats like Kenny Dalglish. He talked with him with the same genuine passion he would have had sharing a curry with his legal friend. He talked to him like he was a teammate. He would engage with him as though he was a friend that just finished a Sunday soccer game at 12 o'clock on his way back home. He saw the champion in everyone because he carried within him, within his soul, within his spirit, a champion himself. And yes, that spirit, it was impossible to miss. You heard it from a few people today. That spirit, he was gentle, but he was larger than life. He was powerful in his expression and in his feelings. You felt his presence when you came into a room. If you knew him, and you heard this said before, if you knew him, you knew his passions. Because he wore it on his sleeve. His heart carried just greater than just what you saw. That's the depth of the man we talk about. They weren't just hobbies for him. They were the fuel for his soul that he shared with everybody and that empowered everybody else's existence around him. I come to what we were known for together. If you ever watched a Liverpool match with him, you know that it wasn't just football or a football club. It was a life. It meant more. It was a religion. It was a spirituality to him. He didn't just watch the game. He lived it. He absolutely lived it. You could hear him shouting, "You will never walk alone," from a mile away. And he meant every single word of that anthem. I'll share one little anecdotal story for you. Very recently, the past 2 years, Liverpool beat his favorite opposition, Vivian's favorite opposition, Manchester United, 7-0. We had, as a club, supporters club, brought together, I think it was something like 10 or 12 four-balls at Blue Valley Golf Club. And we played a game early in the morning with a view that we will watch the match together later that afternoon, which we did. And dearest Vivian, every defense, every attack, every touch of the ball, every goal, he celebrated like that was life itself in that moment. I don't know if Robbie Governor is here, but Doc will tell you, Doc was standing next to him. When the goals went in, all 7 goals, Vivian literally, and I kid you not, literally walked up the walls. There was a wall right next to us, and he walked legs over it. His young son would testify. That's how passionate he was, and that's how he celebrated everything around him, his friends, and this club. In the truest sense of the word, he was an athlete, not just a fan. He participated. Life to him was about participating, was to be present. And he was always present. If you were with him, nothing else around him distracted him from you. Whether it was running distance races, pushing his body to the limits with a determination that was pure Mamba. He brought the same energy to the golf course. I've played with him, and I know that for a fact. To the cricket pitch, and to watching cricket. I think that was his first passion, cricket. To the rugby field, and to the television set when he watched games with us. He loved the struggle. He cherished and lived the camaraderie. He embodied the camaraderie. To him, he brought and to us, he brought sheer joy to the game. And because of that spirit, all of us that are here today and those that are not present loved him, and he loved them in return. They were drawn to him. We were drawn to him. A magnet of enthusiasm, a magnet of sheer joy. He had a light, a brightness, an aura that was undeniable. To be in his orbit, to be in Vivian, the Mamba's solar system, was to feel special. And I think you will acknowledge that when you were around him, that special feeling just infused the relationship. However, my brother, as I look to you, my gentle, troubled brother, was also carrying a weight that he couldn't put down. I share this with openness today, because it is within our atma, within our soul, that God has brought us here today. And brought us into this world to experience one another. The same heart that could love again with such passion, that could connect with people from all walks of life, was the same heart that held a pain we couldn't see. We may have felt, but we couldn't see. We may have asked, but we couldn't see. He was a master at making all of us feel special, to feel okay, to feel great. He carried all of us at times on the shoulders of himself and others, whilst quietly bearing a burden that became too heavy to carry. And that is why today, this moment is about more than just saying goodbye. It has to be more than that. For him, for his sake, it must be. For his wife, Louisa, for his two boys, Kate and Kyle, for the mom and dad, it must be. To Louisa, to Caden, to Mikhail, to Uncle Sid, Auntie Vasita, I want to say this clearly. Vivian's light did not come from nowhere. Vivian's light came from the home you built. The love you gave. The man you helped shape is the foundation that we know and love. The fact that you're so beloved by the world is the reflection of the foundation you gave you. That in itself is a testimony. I say to the young lads, Caden and Mikhail, you have to carry that flag. You have to light that banner and wave it into the world. That's what Dad was about. In the days and months ahead, we, his community, are here. We will carry this light, and we will carry you. We will run the race with you, just as he would have done it for us. And I tell you that he would have done it for us, because we've seen him many a time do that for us under different circumstances. You are not alone. My message to the general people that are here today, and to the men and boys in particular that are here today, this is the message of Damamba's life. A purpose that God instilled, a purpose that God stamped on a soul for us to experience. His life and his death demands we hear and listen to the life he lived. Look around you. Vivian was the ultimate man's man. He loved sport, he was strong, strong-minded, strong-willed, charismatic. He had it all. But we see that strength is not necessarily the absence of pain. So when we feel pain, we must experience pain. And we must accept pain as a form of love that comes from God. True strength is the courage to share it. It's the courage to be open to it. And it's the courage to have faith God is watching over your pain whilst you experience it, Lord, because He placed it there for you. The Spirit that makes you run a marathon, that makes you cheer for your team with unbridled passion, that makes you the life of the party, that same Spirit can sometimes hold you together in public whilst you're silently falling apart in private. So bear with that. Live it. And make sure you communicate it and talk. There's always a friend, and there's always faith. In the silence, in the presence of silence, in the presence of being alone, reach out with both arms to God and ask for prayer and faith. We are taught to be tough. We know that I grew up in a generation where our parents and grandparents were the toughest people that you know. Yeah. We survived slavery through our lives and came out on the other side. And today we stand tough, but inside that toughness is a gentle red flickering, one that can be blown out with the simplest and the gentlest of breezes. To be a rock, to be a provider, that's why we are taught to be tough. But in reality, Vivian's story tells us that being a rock alone is not enough. We need to be able to say, at times of need, I am not okay, and I need you, and I want you, and I want to see you. We need to be able to say that. We need to be able to pick up the phone. We need to be able to see the pain in our brother, our father, our son, our mother, our friend, our colleague, and not look away. Because when you do not look away, you never walk alone. You walk together. That's why God put souls here on this planet. Please, I ask of you, let our Mamba's light not be extinguished in vain. Let His passing be the thing that breaks the silence. Let it be the thing that gives you permission, godly permission, to ask for help when needed, and to give help when needed, and to share that openly with the society in which you live in. Your light and your life is more important than the pride we carry and the ego we carry. Your presence here on earth is a gift from God, a gift by God, for you and for all of us. Hence we talk so much about community. So let that presence here and that gift be shared amongst family, your friends, your team, colleagues, and the world at large. You'll never walk alone. That wasn't just a song to him. It was a truth, an absolute truth. And so the most powerful way we can honor him today, Mamba, is to make sure that in our lives, in our little circles that we exist in, that nobody around us, no one, does walk alone. Not us, not our friends, not our families, and in particular not his. Vivian, my younger brother, Mamba, your race is not over, but the final whistle has been blown. As you journey through life in Moksha, I know you're up there, we know you're up there, and probably looking down at us whilst you're playing golf with your legends, whilst you're chatting football with your legends, that you admired so much. We are pleased the pain has been relieved. We are pleased that the pain is gone. You are now free. You carry the wings of angels. But down here, your legacy isn't just the stars you met or the races you ran. It's the way you loved all the people around you and everything that you did. It's the connections you forged, and it's in the promise we make today to be here for one another, as you were for us in your time, to to talk, to listen, and to ensure that no one we love ever has to feel that they are walking alone. Rest easy, my brother. You will never be forgotten. Never, ever be forgotten. In his last post on our football group, his very last post, were 4 words. YNWA. That was his last post that he put on WhatsApp. You will never walk alone. Thank you, friends, family. Greetings.
Thank you, everybody. Now, one thing that resonates with everybody is the incredible power of music. And I've heard that it has been said that music gives wings to the imagination and sets the soul alight and ablaze with fire. And in order to remember Mamba even more fittingly, we've organized a live musical number from DJ Diva Lash. Please come on.
Thank you.
Raise me up so I can stand. Thank you, DJ Divalash. Now, we've had a few people who joined us, and I'd like to give them an opportunity to do a viewing right now so that we can continue with the program. As remember, we need to proceed to the to the crematorium by 1 o'clock, which is a hard set time. So if you just joined us, please will you come and view now. Pay your final respects to Vivian, and then we'll continue. Can everybody please be seated so we can continue as time is of the essence. One of the things about being an amazing employee is that everybody can testify as to your impact in the workplace. And in order to help us better quantify how truly cherished Vivian was on a day-to-day basis inside the organization that we work for, please, we are about to have a few moments from the head of our casino, our CEO, Ruben Gurana.
Good afternoon, everyone. I didn't hear your speech, but sometimes when you speak from the heart, is the best. At times where we got about over 1,500 employees, you might ask anyone about other individuals, and they might not know the person. But if you ask anyone at times where about Vivian, also known as Mamba, at times where every single employee know about Mamba. And Mamba was the voice of Times Square. Every single customer, there are many employees here, and there's many customers in the crowd. And every single customer knew about Mamba. And we got thousands of customers. Mamba was, he had his own WhatsApp broadcast group that he would send to everyone. I was on his group, and every now and then you would hear about what's happening in his life, and he's running again. He's not always playing tonight, or he's going to Durban with his family on the weekend, and he will be sharing every day. And he was much loved at Times Square. He, by every single employees, by every single customers, and he will walk on the floor, and he will see me walking from far, and Mamba will come and say hello. And we will really miss at Times Square. And I just want to message to the family is Times Square is there. Any assistance, anything that is required, we are there to assist. And wish you all the best, and may His soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. Now, one of the most difficult processes anybody can go through in life is to give birth to a child and to have to watch them go while you're still here. Sadly, the next speaker I have to introduce is just such an individual who suffered just such a tragedy. So please can we welcome Mamba's father to tell us about his early life and everything else in between. Here we go, Madam.
Thank you for everybody coming today. I just want to say that Vivian went to Mozambique just lately to renew his vows with his family, his wife, his 2 children, but I've been with him time before. I guess my boy my pride, my everything. As I stand here today, I'm overwhelmed with memories of you, of us, and the laughter, the adventures, the late night talks. You were more than just a son. Your smile lit up the rooms. Your laugh was contagious. And your speech for all, when I say you will be missed. You reside in my heart always. I wish I could turn back time just for a moment to tell you how much I love you, how proud I am of the man you became. You may be gone, but your memory stays. Me, be there guiding me, and may the Lord give strength to you continue. Rest in peace, my son. I will carry you in my heart. Thank you.
It's amazing the amount of tributes that have flown in. I will not lie to you, we've literally had tributes come not only from all over the country, but from all over this planet, telling us the greatness of Manga's life, the impact that he had on both individuals and groups of people, and how much he will be sorely missed in every single moment that transpires. Allow me to share just one of them with you right now. Actually, let's do two as time is slightly against us. Dear Viv, aka the Mamba, thank you for the wonderful memories we shared on and off the field. The brotherhood we had, you was one in a million. The voice notes and the phone calls will be dearly missed. Not forgetting our team, the best team in the world, Liverpool. Thank you for supporting me with my cricket career. Even when the chips were down, you brought a smile to my face. Brother, I'm going to miss you. Love you lots. R.I.P. the Mamba. That was from Yucatan. We've also got another one that comes from the Times Square family, and I'll be going through these through the course of the day. One of the people that Vivian worked very close with was our promotions director, Ms. Joyce Francis, and they had a very intimate relationship because every single promotion would be thought up and finalized by her and brought to glorious life by Vivian. Here's her tribute. Dearest Mama, today I'm here to say goodbye to you, and this is not easy. I wish I could have seen yourself through your eyes. You touched so many hearts in so many ways. I have never met anyone with such a giving heart. You always wanted to spoil everyone. That was just who you were. You were exceptional at your job. You had such a strong and confident voice, and we will deeply miss it. You were my right-hand man when it came to draws. I relied on your daily WhatsApp messages that would always begin with something like, "Hey Joyce, trust all is well. We are good to go for tonight. Blessings, Gamamba." You helped ensure everything ran smoothly. You were truly passionate about your work. I was so proud of you when you won the Employee of the Year awards at Sun International. You carried those values with pride, always striving for excellence and maintaining the highest standards. In my mind's eye, I can still see you on stage, laughing just before the start of the draw. I would say, "Hey Mamba, share the joke." And that would only make you laugh even more. Then I would also start laughing, even without knowing what the joke was. We shared such good times and so many laughs. You brought joy into our lives, and that is something we will never forget. I miss seeing you do a little dance when you hear a good song, and I miss you requesting a good song before the start of the draw. Your love for Louisa and the boys shone through in everything you did and said. You are deeply missed. Your place at Times Square feels empty without you. Thank you for the laughter, the kindness, the care that you gave so freely. You will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, Demamba. Another one from a fellow Times Square co-worker, dear Vivian. This is from Laudium. I will always remember you for your generosity, always insisting on sharing the little you had with everyone around you, because giving was wired into your DNA. As I came to know you better over the years, I came to realize that you are a special free spirit, and all that you ever wanted was never material things, but love, a hug, a thank you, words of affirmation and encouragement, a space to shine and be you. For someone to tell you that you are not enough just the way you are is a lie. I wish you could have reached out to me about what was sitting heavily on your fragile heart. Thank you for the memories and being a part of my life for a while. You will be greatly missed. I'll do one more before I hand over to the family, because I will not lie. Anybody who worked with Vivian knows that this isn't enough. We could write chapters, paragraphs, and encyclopedias about his incredible impact, the joy that he had to share, and the love that he so freely gave to everybody. This one is from Tabiso. Rest easy, Damamba. You were more than a colleague, a loving husband, a proud father, and a true friend. Thank you for the small things that meant so much, the stash of sweets, the real conversations, and the moments that helped us to push through tough days. We didn't always agree, but it came from a place of wanting better for each other, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, yourself and your family. Life is never perfect, and maybe that's where the beauty lies. Your passing is a painful reminder that mental wellness matters, and that we must check in, speak up, and carry each other throughout everything. I trust that you have found peace. May your spirit live on in all that you have touched, and may it bring comfort to your family in the quiet moments. Rest easy, Damamba. We'll now be continuing with a word from Rebecca Moodley, Vivian's sister-in-law.
Greetings, everybody. Today I stand here not to say goodbye to a brother-in-law, but to honor a brother who came into my life and became so much more. But when you married my sister, you didn't just join our family, you completed it. You became the life of our family. Your smile, your laughter, and your warmth had a way of capturing not just our hearts, but the hearts of everyone you met. When we lost our parents, it was you who held us together. In a time when everything felt like it was falling apart, you stood strong for all of us. That is who you were. A pillar, a protector, and a man who carried others, even when it wasn't easy. The bond you and I shared was something I will treasure forever. The many conversations, the laughter, the moments we didn't even realize would become memories. I will always remember your visits to our home in Durban, sometimes even coming on your own, just to spend time with us. That's how much family meant to you. And oh, how you loved your food, love. I can still hear you saying, cook a chow rib. And somehow, those simple words now carry so much meaning, so much life, so much of you. Viv, you were the heartbeat of our family. And now there's a space, a link that feels so painfully missing. This loss has shattered us in ways we cannot fully express. I don't know how we're going to do this life without you. I truly don't. But I know this. Today, you are listening. And today I want to say thank you. Thank you for loving my sister so unconditionally. You treated her like a queen that she is. You kept the promise you made to our dad to love and to cherish his princess. And you did that every single day. To your boys, you were everything a father should be and more. You taught them discipline, but always with love. You guided them, protected them, and showed them what it means to be a good man. And for this, we honor you. Viv, Mama, my brother, you will always be loved. Your memory will live on in each of us. We will carry your legacy forward with pride. Rest well, our precious one.
Thank you so much. Please can we also welcome Kennedy Subramoni, Vivian's cousin.
I'm not prepared anything, but I just wanted to say a few words about my cousin Laudium. We grew up together, not as cousins, but as brothers. He always called me Anna, big brother. Always showed respect. He was a light in our family, whether at functions, get-togethers, growing up, playing cricket games at home. He was the center of everything. I never imagined this day coming ever, really. You were the one who would send messages on our family group, keep us together, always let us know how things going, with your running, with your sports. And we're going to miss that so much. You always connected with whoever you met. You never make anyone feel left out. You connected especially with the children. Whenever you got together with the family, you wanted to meet our children, you wanted to know who they were, what they were doing, what sports they played. That was you, always connecting with the kids. We will miss you so much. Louisa and the boys, you will never walk alone because they will always walk with you. Lots of love.
Thank you. Here's another message that testifies to the incredible impact Vivian had on people's lives. This one is from Fernando. Dear Vivian, aka Damamba, I'm thinking of you and missing you loads. Your memory stays with me, and I hope you're in peace. I'll always cherish the good times we shared, all our cricket memories and Liverpool chats and fishing trips to the Mercy. But I'll miss your voice, the calls and the voice notes the most. Your memories will stay with me forever. Go well, my friend. Love, Denobi. Here's another one from one of our colleagues, from Freddie. Today we pause with heavy hearts to remember not just a colleague, but a truly remarkable person who touched our lives in so many ways. Damamba was more than someone we worked with. He was such a source of kindness, support, and positivity. Whether it was through his dedication to his work, his willingness to help others, his professionalism and commitment were inspiring, but it was his character that truly stood out. He had a way of making people feel valued and heard, and his absence leaves a space that cannot be filled. Rest in peace, Damamba. Another one from Sia, Damamba. I will never forget how excited you got about big draws. I will never forget how you made us feel in terms of motivating us and telling us about the importance of teamwork. How you always wanted to give your very best and rubbing that on everyone giving their best to you. You indeed brought so much light and changed the whole mood with your amazing spirit of humanity. Your words still echo in my head every time before a big draw. You would take your time just to send your signature email to get everyone in the same spirit. You would say, almost showtime. Teamwork is dream work. Blessings, Damamba. And I knew it was going down. I'm gonna miss you, brother. In order to continue with the kind messages from friends, please can we welcome one of Mamba's closest allies and a friend from Times Square, Trevor Ackerman. Trevor Ackerman going once, Trevor Ackerman going twice, and we'll move on. Next, we have a tribute, also from the marketing team. This one comes directly from Mamba's line manager, Antoinette. Mamba, walking to the gaming stage will now break my heart. Every single time. I'm sorry. I love you forever. Now, I'd like to ask for another musical number, and while we're doing the musical number, I kindly ask that anybody who hasn't had a chance to do the viewing now, so that we can commence with the last of the speeches before we wrap up. The musical number, once again, will be provided by DJ Divalash.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mama was very energetic, so we need to celebrate him more than crying and feeling so sad. Let's celebrate Mama. And there's few things that I love when he says, don't be late for your day. It's number 8. Those little things. They keep on reminding you of Mama. So, guys, we are lost. We are confused, but let's celebrate Mama. This song is called Time to Say Goodbye. Sorry, Mama, to say goodbye. Sorry.
Goodness, one thing we wanted to do today is we wanted to give anybody who had something that they'd like to say about Mamba the opportunity to do so. So if you feel touched or you feel that there's something you'd like to share, this is your opportunity. Please will you come to the front and share about the wonderfulness that Mamba added to your life and how much you'll be sorely missed in his daily activities.
Good afternoon, everybody. I thought it would be remiss if I didn't stand up here and bid my final farewell to a very dear friend of ours. I knew Vivian from the time we were this high. We started school together at 5 years old, and the journey we had was incredible. Vivian was a larger-than-life character. He'd pick you up, your spirit being really down. Vivian was the guy to pick you up. You'd have a bad day at home, a bad morning. Vivian would cheer you up at school. And even in the area where we lived, everybody knew Vivian. Vivian never saw age as something that I can recall. I mean, he got on with our fathers, he got on with uncles. He spoke to them like he would converse with us. There weren't any age boundaries or anything like that. Vivian, it was like a timeless thing with Vivian. Although the respect was still there, the respect was still there. He held his own, a big character, and just a few things that I remember was him coming home, and the first thing he'd do is open our fridge, just help himself. I remember my mom had fish curry from the day before. He mixed fish curry with my biscuits of all things, I don't know why. But he seemed to have enjoyed it. He loved that concoction, and something that just stands out for me. Another time, he stayed at home, and my mom was like, he's Vivian, does his parents know that he's here? He's like, no, please don't tell my parents, I'm not going back home. I'm moving out actually. Okay, Vivian, okay. Mom jumped into the car with Dad and drove off to Vivian's house and resolved the matter. Something we had in common and we spoke about a lot was Liverpool Football Club. He was very passionate about that club. I remember seeing him on TV, being interviewed outside Anfield. Always wanted to do the Anfield trip with him. Unfortunately, we never got to do it together. Something that I'll regret. Vivian, on a world platform, said, I'm Vivian the Mamba Subramoniey, with the world watching him on TV, Vivian didn't care about letting people know who he was. He wasn't ashamed of who he was, unashamed. But I just want to, what an appropriate song, DJ, and well done to you. Time to Say Goodbye really touched me, and it touched everybody here. Such an apt song. And it is time to say goodbye, my dear old friend. On behalf of the Ghanaian class of 1996, we want to just say Godspeed to you, and you'll be really missed. This is our 30-year reunion that we're going to be having, and we'd like to dedicate that to Vivian, that 30-year reunion. There's going to be a resounding noise in that reunion of Vivian's name. We're going to be remembering him and honoring him, and we would like to do something in his memory. We want to do something special, and we'll keep the family informed. But something just went through my mind while I was sitting down there. You know, people can live an 80-year-old life, 100-year-old life, but the quality of life compared to whatever you live, I'm sure you fulfilled all of that in this 48, 47 years. You know, such a rich character. So, sadness, but no regret. No regret, Vivian. Godspeed to you, my boy.
Now the thing is, Vivian was involved in a lot of activities, and one of them that he loved was not just watching football, but it was also playing football. And every single Sunday he had a league that he was a participant in, and in order to give us a few words from his teammates, can everybody please welcome up Lysander from the Sunday Football Club.
Thank you, everybody. I didn't think I was going to speak today. I've never done this per se, but I just felt that I need to say a few words to my dear friend Mamba. I've known him for about 2 to 3 years, and he wiggled his way into our Sunday football team that we play every Sunday at 9 o'clock sharp, as he would tell us. And one few things he used to always to say is, I'm breaking the oranges, let's go, let's go. And I don't know where his supply of oranges were, but he always had enough, to the point where we got kicked out because we missed with some oranges, but we made it back anyway. And in this week, after hearing the news, I was obviously a big shock, as most of us, and it only hit me on Wednesday when I kind of made peace with this and kind of came to a resolution about this. And I just wanted to share a few words for that. I titled this, A Tale to Mamba. What is grief but love persevering? The pain of losing someone, the tears of remembering them, and the mourning of not going to see them again. These are what we all feel. For each and every one of us, there are these things we carry here today. But the focus is the memory. And after hearing many stories, I can tell and I can see that the passion, the love, and the memory that he has with all of us is what we have today. We all have a story from memory of engaging with Vivian, whether good or bad, but we sit here for this unfailing connection we have with people that move us beyond our understanding. This is such a person, Vivian the Mamba. I remember going to a casino, and I don't like to gamble, but I thought, let me just try it out for once. And I even joked with my mates as we went together. I'm like, oh, David, Mamba's here, one of his here. I just dreamed the day, so I was like, probably not, probably not. And lo and behold, not too long after, he appears the Mamba. What made this so fun is that his name tag with his work uniform on read the Mamba. And I burst out laughing. I thought it was just an alias he just likes to go as a cool kid name. But lo and behold, it was on his name tag. We embraced one another and tried to bump into him again. He later then went on the mic and announced to everyone in his commentator's posh voice, I don't know if everyone knows that, saying, good day everyone. I want to just give a shout out and a welcome to Chisa and Aiden and Brandon here with their ladies, and they made us feel so welcome. On another side note, my name is Lysander, but when I told him that, he heard something else, and ever since I've been Chisa. So it's now caught on, and I hold that dear to me now. This is where the grief stems from, where the pain, the tears, and the mourning arise. Mama had a role to play in my life, for whatever reason it be it for, that made me feel joy, love, and laughter. His persona and presence can rub any person into feeling the type of way, but underneath it all was a man who you swear that if Jurgen Klopp called him to say, I need you to talk to the boys in the dressing room, he'd have paragraphs and so much to just tell his boys what to do. And he never tried to tell us what he would have told them if he was the manager. His passion and love for a club also reached to having that for others, compassion to all. So Vivian the Mamba, what a save, he would say in goals. Your passionate love, coupled with our memories together, we will now save. May they never walk alone in us. You are a memory of love.
Thank you, Lysander Keza. We appreciate your sentiments. I have space literally for one last speaker. If anybody has something that they'd like to share, this is the moment to do so. So please, come and share your last sentiment about the life of Vivian Subramony. No problem, this is from Robbie Naidu. It is with deep sadness that I inform of the passing of my dear friend and former colleague, Vivian Subramoney, fondly known as Mamba. Viv was without a shred of doubt the most talented and industrious person I have ever worked with. This is a real tragedy. His funeral will take place at Shri, Vishnu, Mandir. Oh goodness, it's locked on me. And my face is the wrong kind of face, it's not working. Allow me to share my Mamba story before we go. I remember it was just after the lockdowns and Mamba had started in Times Square Casino. And I remember the floor was abuzz with laughter and with light. And usually as the main provider of happiness, I was somewhat jealous. But I had to find out who was this industrial individual who was shining a light on the casino floor. And I went immediately to the promo stage and I couldn't find him. I started checking around the other areas and I couldn't find him. And this was what surprised me most. On every single shift, in every opportunity, he would be up and down the casino, checking guests at the machines, interacting with the individuals that were playing, and making sure that his voice wasn't just heard on the speaker system. It was felt face to face in every single interaction. And when I finally got a chance to meet him, to shake hands and to do the obligatory greetings, he said something that would stay with me for eternity. He looked at me and he said, "Kingboy, make sure that a good day never goes to your head and a bad day never goes to your heart." And today, it might be a bad day, but it is a good day because we're remembering all the good days that we had with him. So my brother Mamba, wherever you may be in eternity, I look forward to meeting you with you again and watching our favorite team play. Now, my sister, are you walking towards me to say hello? I had to make sure. On behalf of the family, Vivian's wife, Louisa Subramani, Kista, and the children would like to thank you all for the love and support shown to them in the most difficult of time, and request that you join them for an early dinner after the proceedings at the crematorium around 3 p.m. Your presence would be greatly appreciated, even if you do eat your curry with mommy biscuits. Please remember also that those who are not going to the crematorium, we will not leave you hungry and starving. We will serve food in the meantime, and we'll join you as soon as we're done. We'll be doing one last viewing now, and then the Liverpool supporters will be forming a guard of honor and carrying out Mamba one final time before we head to the crematorium. Oh, somebody's behind me. Wait.
Since the name of Jesus Christ, I'm standing here as a customer of Times Square. Since my mom passed away, I've never went to funerals. I don't attend funerals because it takes me back there. But I was with Mom on Saturday. I said, he said, hi Trini, I'm a train by the way. He said, what's up? I'm okay. My son was diagnosed with vertigo and now starting to show up. And he says, you okay, see, I was with your son was the other day, but I said, no, it's just at the back. And he said to me, now you'll be fine if I gave me a hug. Shout out to the son who bought the perfume. Did you buy it at the perfume? wow, Shri. He was telling, I think almost everyone where we were at, that my son bought this for me. And the love that you could see on the father's face just by telling that. And he says, did DA call you anymore? I said, no, I was working for DA with him. And then we got retrenched after the whole COVID. So now he says, don't worry, Casey, man, you get something better. So what I would like to say is, the words that my brother just said, we must not be scared to say, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Can I talk to you? You'd rather gossip about me, it's fine, but I did let that out. Most especially people always say, Casey, why didn't you talk to your daughter because she's still young about some of the things? I trust him more. And I don't want to lie, I was never studying when this guy was there. For some reason, he has a hand to give. More especially when you start saying, hey, mama, yo, hey, see, yo. I said, hey, I'm not fine. You see now. Then you went to be and organized me food. I ate. He says, go now, your son is waiting for you. And he had so much love for the family. I don't want to lie, he loved you daily. Whenever he speaks, I've never heard of a man who's, my wife can tell you that. My wife can tell you that. So I just want to say to him, Mamba, it's Casey. Out of the people who goes there, I don't think you think that I'll be standing here and coming to your funeral. It was such a... I'm still in shock. I think it came as a shock to everybody. My twin wanted to come all the way from Johannesburg. We just talked to me and said, no, we're almost done. And she says, Casey, really? I said, it's really, but nobody happens. And I was one of those people and I said, guys, we can gossip and say whatever that we want to say, but only he knows at that particular moment and timing. If God didn't want it to happen, it was never going to happen. That is why we said everything happens for a reason, and it was God's timing. I learned, for an example, my dad went to work. My dad was a principal in Free State. Just as he went, then he said, I'm taking your brother to boarding school. That was it. And they died, 5 of them, in an accident. 5 of the whole brothers. So what I want to say to you is, it's God's timing. He saw it in a better way, of which we won't understand in that way. But I hope you find comfort to the mom, to the dad, to his son, in any ways. It's not something that I might say you would recover now. Even me, it happened a long time ago. I lost both parents, but even now I still cry and say, yo, mom, I wish you were here. I wish you could see my kids raising me. I'm a blessed mom, I know it. And may God find and help you, give you strength. That's all I can say. And to the rest of some of the people who wanted to come, on behalf of their love as well, thank you so much.
It's amazing how far afield the tributes come from. Here's some more, like from Sunday. We are deeply saddened to learn of the passing away of our dear Vivian. Throughout his life, he had been the epitome of willing volunteerism. Besides, wherever he was employed, he would solve many issues with a welcoming smile, despite the difficulties encountered. Rest in peace, Vivian. You will be sorely missed. Another one, from the International Olympic Committee member. We are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of our dear Vivian. Sorry. Here's another one. This is from Vanessa Pile, marketing assistant at Suncoast. This is totally shocking. What a major loss. I could go on and on and on, but you get the picture. 2 words stand out in all the social media interactions: happiness and legend. And so he was. The legend, the Mamba. Sandy Latola, the casino brand manager of Suncoast, had to say, rest in peace, the Mamba. What a guy. Pranila Pillai, the PR manager from Suncoast. Oh my goodness, this was such terrible news. The one and only Mamba will be sorely missed. Ryan Smith, the technical political coordinator at Suncoast, and one of his closest colleagues says he was devastated, and this is very sad news, go well. Eugene Boniface, marketing manager of Suncoast and head of events at Sun International, said he was an awesome human being who only spread joy and love with every interaction. He will be sitting up in heaven with the legends of gaming having a drink, Rob Collins and Jabu Marbuza. The three of them will make an incredible team in heaven. Cesare Yankee, the regional marketing head of Soko Sun, said in life you come across people who play no games, who have no errors, and whose graces and just simple down-to-earth human being kindness resonate constantly. Mamba was one of those. Alan Khan, a radio personality and former East Coast Radio MD, said Viv was a wonderful man and with such a kind and generous soul. This is terribly sad news. Our former GM, Shri, also had to say he was very sad to hear about his passing and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Mayan Murthy, former GM of Ball Coast and Sevilla, said, very sad, taken too soon. Shavika Singh, former head of business intelligence at Sokosan, said, gone too soon. He brought so much happiness and laughter to everyone he engaged with. Now, once again, I ask if there's anybody inside the hall today who would like to share a word, a memory, a remembrance. Please come and share it now. Now, one of the most amazing things in life is where the people who you love you back. And this message is from the official Liverpool club. Oh my goodness, my brother, this is writing for a young man. This isn't writing for an old man with bad eyes. I'm so sorry to be writing you under these circumstances. There we go. I'm so sorry to be writing you under these circumstances and to hear Vivian has passed away. On behalf of everybody associated with Liverpool Football Club, the directors, the managers, the players, and the staff, we would offer our sincerest condolences to you and your dear family. Nothing that we say will ever ease your loss, but we want you to know that you are in our thoughts and our sympathy extends with you all. May you and your family know God's peace, comfort, and strength in this very sad time. Yours sincerely, Billy Bygroves, Club Captain. So we are starting with a video message that has also just been sent in from Trisha Huna.
Can we talk about being the strong one all the time? You know what's exhausting? It's when people think you're fine because you always look and act fine. You're the reliable one, the fix-it person, the emotional anchor to everyone around you. Being strong doesn't mean that you're not tired. It doesn't mean that you don't break down at night crying because you're physically and emotionally exhausted. Or that you don't wish that someone will notice that you need support. You're allowed to stop performing strength. You're allowed to say, I'm not okay. You're allowed to ask for help and the right people will show up for you. Real strength is not being unbreakable. It's recognizing that you are human too.
Thank you so much. Does anybody else have a remembrance that they'd like to share? This is we have on Phobians Athletics Club, Mamba's Running Club. It is with great sadness that we share the news of the passing of VIVIAN SUBRAMONEY. VIVIAN was a part of the running community and will be remembered for his presence, his spirit, and his love for the sport. His loss is deeply felt. Tonight, a time trial will be run in his honor as a tribute to a fellow runner and a valued member of our community. On behalf of Phobia Athletics Club, we extend our sincere condolences to the family, the friends, and all who knew him during this difficult time. Does anybody else have a memory they would like to share?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Professor Suraj. I knew Vivian from primary school days. We spoke together in Melbourne, and we completed high school together as well. Vivian and I initially didn't get on that well because he was the best at sports, and I was always so competitive with him. But through our competition, we became such good friends over the years. There wasn't a day that I could remember where we've never been upset or angry. As a lot of mentioned, he was always the guy that would cheer you up, no matter what type of day you had and stuff as well. We used to play together in volleyball. He was an excellent person. He could set the ball. And I was an attacker, so we were a very good team together and stuff. I last saw Vivian about 12 years ago when he was working at Bakers in Durban. And we hadn't seen each other for many years since leaving school, but when I saw him immediately, he rushed to come and see me, give me a big hug. And it felt like no time had passed. We still had that deep friendship. A couple of weeks ago, my mother and my sister actually ran into Laudium at the casino Times Square here. And he was so excited to meet people from our hometown of Ghana. And he spoke at length with them. I wasn't with him at the time. And he was so excited to see them that he phoned me immediately and to tell me how proud he was of me, because we hadn't seen each other for 10 years and he hadn't known what my career path was and that sort of thing. And he was so excited that one of our own had actually made it in Victoria. And it turned out we were so close to each other that we hadn't met. So we made plans to meet within the next week or so. And I was really excited at the prospect of seeing him again, but just didn't materialize. So I was really shocked when I got the message that he had passed, because we had just made plans to meet and stuff as well. So to his family, I want to extend my deepest condolences on behalf of all of us from the Liverpool school, from his hometown, I know it's a very big loss, there's nothing I can say that I take the pain away, but my wish to you is that God grant you to stand Vivian through this difficult time. And to Vivian, I just want to say that you will be really solid this friend. I miss those days of laughing and joking and playing volleyball together without any care in the world. And I wish you peace and this humanity going forward. Thank you.
Once again, I ask if anybody has a sentiment, please come forward and share it now.
Thank you so much. To family, friends, and for those of you that knew Vivian and Mama, I am Caden's teacher. I'm also his soccer teacher. And probably from that, Vivian made me understand from the Word of God that he values his little boy's future. And from that, I went on. We have engaged into a friendship that have gone that far that I got to know many of his family members, many of his long-time friends, and also with me being an Arsenal supporter, we were almost the direct rivals. But even through that, I know him as a big football supporter. To the family, I'm sure you know that I spent
My time in the mornings, 4:30, 5 o'clock, if I stand up, I use the time for personal prayer, and I pray. During the time, I normally share every morning a spiritual message to my friends, family, and with Mama being a very close friend of mine, he would be the first person with these messages that I share every morning with family. He would be the first one to reply and say, "Good morning, brother." Now I'm sure that his family, they are fully aware about this. But I want to say to his family, I am so used to him sharing and replying to the messages that I hear from him daily. The last message that I shared with him was on Tuesday morning. I was shocked to believe that I could not understand. It is the first time ever that I found that there was no reply from him. And I could tell that there was something wrong. The message that I shared with him said that in your time of struggles, turn to the Lord and He will pull you out of any weakness or any trouble or any difficulty that you have got. Mama, my friend, thank you for being a wonderful friend to me and my family. I know that everyone that has shared messages about his character and his personality is the one thing that I have always about you. I also want to make that promise that I have made to Mama, because Mama had great concerns about the future of her kid. And I want to make sure that I will give the family the support in order to make sure that that happens. From that, to all his family, friends, it is great to be part of a person that can share this life that all of you share with Mama. And he's been a wonderful inspiration to us all. And we will remember this for the rest of our life. Louisa, you know you're a wonderful man, and you were not always there to know what he shares with other people. But what he shared with other people is what they have drawn us to do. I'm sharing this message, and I want to say this from one father to another. Vivian has been a spectacular husband and a father. Husband to you, a husband to you, and a father to his family. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Once again, I'm giving a final opportunity to anybody who has a remembrance, a memory, a story that they'd like to relate to.
He started as a pool attendant in Kapara Beach and Clive Napier, and he progressed from there. A lot of places, but I'm so proud that he's fulfilled his life. Thank you.
We will now be closing off with a guard of honor from the Liverpool Supporters Club, and we will be walking out to say our final goodbye to Mama. Thank you so much on behalf of the family, on behalf of Sun International, and on behalf especially of Mama. We know that without you, we could not have laid him to rest with the dignity and honor that he deserves, and we'd like to thank you for helping us make that a reality. And we know that every single night, going forward from here, the greatest thing we can do is celebrate him daily and remember him regularly. last opportunity to view. If anybody has not viewed, please will you come and view now so that we can close up and continue with this final procession. Please note, this is your final opportunity to view before we close the casket. If you have not had an opportunity as yet, please come and view now.
Thank you.